Hey Annie, this is Dad. So I had an idea when I was driving home about how you could put up those curtain brackets. So I'm going to tell you with some illustrations. I have a board here that represents the permanently installed area that we were trying to think of how to mount the two brackets. And I have two pieces of paper that represent the brackets themselves. The lighter color piece represents the part that gets screwed in. The other color looks blue and pink to me. Who knows what color it is? Represents the part that slides down. And this illustrates the problem that how in the world, if you can only get that to do that, and you can't, and the top of the thing bumps up against the ceiling, how do you get there? So I think I have a way to do it. What you'll need is a coin. Now it could be a quarter, a dime, or a nickel. Probably a nickel because it's the thickest. And what you would do is put a nickel at the bottom of the thing so that when you put the bracket that you're going to screw into the wood there, it's elevated a certain distance from the base of where the thing is. And then what I want you to do is use a nail or an awl, AWL if you have it. I think you might in your toolkit to make a mark in the wood where the two nail screw holes are. So let me make a little better representation of what the screw holes should look like. And I just need a pen. I got it. A pen, I should say. And so, if I recall, there was a screw hole up at the top and a screw hole down at the bottom. So take that bracket piece that had the two screw holes and then use your awl to make a hole that represents that's on the top hole. So you would take I'm using a pen, you need to use the awl and make, with the bracket standing on the nickel for thickness, use the awl to punch a small but realistic hole in the wood, and that's going to be where the top screw is going to go. And then while it's lined up, make sure it's straight up and down. Do the same thing on the bottom with the awl. Make a hole in the wood that's a real hole, not a pen mark. And so you'll see when you're done with this first step, you'll see underneath the coin, you'll see a hole there that lines up with the middle of the hole of the bracket, screw hole of the bracket, and then a line there that ends up on the permanently installed thing that represents the top hole of the bracket. Now, you're going to have screws. For argument's sake, I have a much larger screw than what you were going to use, but I want to point out that the screw has some elements. It has a head, a Phillips head, or a flat head. It has a point, a sharp point. It has a barrel, and around the barrel it has threads. You have to get a drill bit from your assortment of drill bits that is exactly the width of the barrel. So if I showed you this bit and I held it up to the screw, it would be too big because it's bigger than the screw. If I held up this bit and compared it to the screw, it would be too small because it's not as big as the barrel. And if I held up this screw, it would be just right because it covers the barrel, but you can see the screw waves, or whatever they're called, the screw part of the screw. And this is important because you're going to use this correct size to drill a hole into the top of the permanently installed thing and screw in the top piece of that. And once that's screwed in, you can get rid of the nickel, and you should be able, if you don't screw it in too tight, screw it in tight enough to hold and be firm, but not tight enough to prevent it from swinging up, pivoting up on the screw, like that. And then once it's like that, you can then take the other piece and slide it in, and then you can do it down, and then just put the screw in the bottom hole as tight as it can be, because that'll hold it more firmly than the somewhat tightened top one, and then you should be able to slide the curtain bracket into place. I know this is a makeshift operation and probably not terrifically explained, but give me a call if you have any questions. Bye.